So old Pavarotti's got out a video where he's claiming he's got the information to get Brian Koberger cleared. And he's claiming that in the form of a red Dodge Journey. But that just is not the case. Now, why he's claiming it's a red Dodge Journey is because on Google Street View, there is a red Dodge Journey parked on the street outside of the duplex that Tyson Farley and Tanya Rhodes used to live in. And he claims that they lived in that duplex at the time of the murders, so they were only 2 minutes away from King Lane. Well, the only problem is they didn't live in that duplex at the time of the murders. They were actually evicted in January of 2022. And we don't know where they lived. Also, there's no, again, evidence pointing to them even being involved in the murders. But when Tyson Farley was arrested in Oakdale, Washington, later on, he was listed as homeless. So we know they definitely weren't on Cleveland at the time of the murders. Now, could this SUV be theirs? Possibly. Because it was taken on Google Street View in October of 2021. Let me show you. So here's the Google Street View showing that Dodge Journey, October 2021. But there is no way to know for sure if that was Tyson's or Tanya's. It could have belonged to whoever was also in the other side of that duplex. It also could have belonged to somebody else on the street. Could have also belonged to somebody visiting. There's just no way Pavarotti would know if that's their vehicle or not. But yet he's claiming it is, and so is Bubbly Waters. Now, the next part of the claim that Pav and Bubbly are making is that this Dodge Journey picked up the person that was standing by the dumpster near the Linda Lane apartments at around 5 a.m. on November 13th, 2022. But I just don't believe that's the same vehicle, and I'll show you why. So this is from Pavarotti's video. He's superimposed the Dodge Journey, but the body type does not match up. It does not even look like the same size of a vehicle. The Journey is clearly more of a larger SUV, and the vehicle that picks that guy up looks like a small, compact SUV. So the first thing I noticed different was the wheels, like the rims. The spokes are completely different. The vehicle that picks that guy up at the dumpster is not the same as on that Dodge. Not even close. Then the next thing I noticed was the side mirrors are a completely different design and the license plate is lower. So if you look at the side mirrors on the Dodge Caravan, they kind of come out to the side and up. And if you look at the side mirrors on the vehicle that picked up the person, they kind of come up at an angle and then out. They almost look like wings that are spreading. Completely different. And then the license plate sits much lower than the tail lights on the vehicle that picked up the person at the dumpster. It's not the same vehicle. Now, Pavarotti also claims this is the same person that was seen earlier around 3:20 a.m., but their heights are different. You can see where the shoulders are of both of them compared to the dumpster height. They're not the same height. And their gaits are completely different. I put these up and down so you can look at their walk. They don't even walk the same. I don't believe that's the same person at all. The gait is different, the build is different, the height is different. Also, Pav was trying to say that he's coming out from the woods on the little path back there, but I honestly think he's coming from one of those cottages back there. Let's take a look.
And right out of the woods right here. Here's a closer look, and you can see the little rock wooded.
Okay, see where these cottages are? They go back a little ways. You can see the rooftops. He could have been coming out of one of those cottages and not from up back behind in the woods. Also, he could have come down the stairs at the Linda Lane apartments because you can walk behind that little brick wall and come out that same way. So I seriously doubt he was hovering around in the woods after a murder and coming down to get picked up by someone. Now, personally, of course, this is speculation, I also think that's an Uber. I think that when the guy says that's it, he's replying that to when the driver asks his name. Because I know when an Uber driver pulls up, they'll say, are you so and so? And I'll say, that's it, or that's me. I personally believe that's an Uber driver. I think it's probably somebody that either drank a whole lot the night before because it was a football game and they left the car somewhere, so they called an Uber, or they were headed to go to the airport, or they were meeting friends early and needed a ride. But I really feel like that's an Uber. I don't feel like that's somebody casually getting into a car, like after murder going, that's it. I think they were asked their name and said, that's it. Now, Pavarotti also seems to think that red Dodge Journey was sitting in the parking lot at the Queen Road Apartments, and that it was the vehicle that left at 4:23 a.m., like at approximately 4:23 a.m., that really noisy vehicle. I don't believe it is. We're going to compare the sounds, but he seems to think it is. And also something else I wanted to point out to Pavarotti. Throughout your video, you kept calling those apartments that the camera was facing the Linda Lane apartments. Those are the Queen Road apartments. The cameras at 1330 and 1320 are actually on the Linda Lane apartments. So the 1320 camera faces down Linda Lane. That's the one at the dumpster that faces the dumpster. And the 1330 camera faces the immediate parking lot for Linda Lane, but then also beyond the fence, the Queen Road apartments, their parking lot. And you can see a very end of the Queen Road apartments building. So just wanted to clear that up. The one leaving from the Queen Road Apartments lot has a much noisier engine, and it has squeaky brakes, okay? Those brakes have an issue. The one on Linda Lane at the dumpster, quieter engine, and the brakes don't squeak. Not the same vehicle. That's not, no. And I doubt that's a Dodge Journey at the Queen Road lot either. It looks like a much larger SUV than the Dodge Journey. Those just aren't the same vehicles, though. Also, one other thing I wanted to address that Pavarotti said was about warrants, so I'll play the video.
Tower dump, which they call it. It's the illegal use of a FISA warrant to unmask all the cell phones in the area between 3 and 5 a.m. They don't.
No, Pav. They didn't have a FISA warrant, and it wasn't illegal. FISA stands for Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. It's federal. That's what they use to spy on terrorists, and they go to FISA courts. The warrant in the Koberger case was for Latah County. Megan Marshall signed off on it. Feds, not involved. Perfectly legal, not unconstitutional. Carpenter versus California was a landmark case that ruled that they can get CAS data, like the CSLR data, geofencing, as long as there's a warrant. Has nothing to do with FISA, not federal. Now, I really have to say this. I really hope, for your sake, that you're just delusional. Because if you're purposely gaslighting your audience, that is wrong. And that is terrible. And what I'm talking about is when you claimed that Ann Taylor was shouting out to you during the motion to change venue hearing. She wasn't giving you a shout out. Your website, like your YouTube channel, was up on the pages of misinformation. Okay? Those were on the presentation about the misinformation that was causing the need for the change of venue. That's not a good thing. That wasn't a shout out. And also, Judge was never planning on moving this trial to Nez Perce. Okay? He's the administrative judge for District 2. There's already another potential death penalty case going on in District 2 with the Skylar Meade case. He's over that judge that's seen that case. His plate was full. This was always going to be moved out of district. So it had nothing to do with you. He wasn't listening to you. If any of us think that Ann and Bill and Judge or any of them are listening to our YouTubes, they aren't. Get in touch with reality. They aren't. They don't care. What they care about is what we're saying is possibly poisoning a potential jury pool, and that's why your video was shown on that screen, because it was part of the misinformation. Now, I want to think that you are a smart enough guy that you know these things you're saying aren't true, which can only lead me to believe that you're gaslighting your audience. And if that's the case, that's not very nice. That's actually pretty low. So, just wanted to say that. But hope this video has been educational, and if there's something you would like me to cover that I haven't covered yet, please let me know.